and his sons. Now, what about the call of Samuel? The call of Samuel, this story in chapter 3 is a beautiful story. Did any of you guys teach children in like Sunday school? Or you remember Sunday school? This is a great Sunday school story, okay? So Samuel's sleeping in his bed. Eli is sleeping as the priest in his bed and things. And all of a sudden the Lord comes to Samuel at night and says, Shamuel, Shamuel. And Samuel wakes up and says, whoa, Eli called. So he goes trucking into Eli. Eli, what'd you want? What'd you want, Eli? Okay. Eli says, I didn't call you. Go back to bed. Okay. Do kids ever get up in the night and kind of when something scares them and run into their parents, okay? How many times, I don't know, our kids, we had thunder and lightning in Indiana and stuff, and tornadoes and stuff. All of a sudden the kids, boom, they're out of their bed, bow. You wake up and your kids are crawling all over you and stuff like that because, they're scared and they want to, anyways. And so then, so Eli sends them back. Samuel. Samuel wakes up again, runs into Eli. Eli, what'd you want? Man, I didn't call you. By the way, when you're a parent, our kid's going to wake you up in the middle of the night. Yeah, it's part of the game, unless you get some kid that's highly sedated. No, don't do that. But some kids, no, seriously, some kids are different. Some kids sleep through the whole night. Other kids will keep you up all night repeatedly. And I wish for you the kind that sleep through the night. It's quite different. So anyway, finally, the third time, Eli figures it out, and Eli says, man, I'm not calling this kid. It's God calling this kid. So Eli then turns to him in chapter 3, and Eli realized that the Lord was calling the boy, chapter 3, verse 9. So Eli told Samuel, go lie down, and if he calls, you say, speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. Did you get the play on words here? What's Samuel's name? Listening. And so there's like a play on Samuel's name here, okay? Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening, okay? The herd of God one now is listening. Samuel went and lay down his place. The Lord came and stood there calling as other times, Samuel, Samuel. Samuel said, speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. And the Lord said to Samuel, now this is interesting here. This is heavy. See, God speaking to Samuel, he says, see, I am about to do something in Israel that will make the ears of everyone who hears it tingle. At the time, I will carry out against Eli everything I spoke against his family from beginning to end. For I told him that I would judge his family forever because of the sin he knew about. His sons made themselves contemptible, and he failed to restrain them. It's one of the roles of a father to restrain his children. Yeah. Can your parents restrain you? How many of you have snuck and done stuff that your parents had no idea what you did? Okay? He's judged here because he didn't restrain his kids from doing this evil in the presence of the Lord. For I told him that I would judge his family forever because the sin he knew about, his sons made themselves contemptible, and he failed to restrain them. Therefore, I swore to the house of Eli, the guilt of Eli's house will never be atoned for by sacrifice or offering. Now, your little boy Samuel, who's rearing you? Who's raising you? Eli is your stepfather. He's the priest. Do you look up to this guy who's rearing you? Samuel looks up to him. He's his hero and things. And now, the next morning, what's the first thing Eli's going to ask? Hey, Samuel, what did God say to you? Would you want to be little boy Samuel telling Eli that God says, basically, Eli, your family's fried, man. It's over. Would you want to be a little boy doing that? By the way, is that the role of a prophet, however? Is that the role of a prophet? And so sure enough, next morning Eli gets up and he says, Samuel answered, here I am. And he says, what is it he said to you? Down to verse 17, Eli asked, don't hide it from me. God deal with you ever be so severely if you hide anything from me. And so Samuel comes out with it and basically tells him that Eli's family is history because of what he did and stuff. So Eli is rejected, and Eli's two boys, Hophni and Phinehas, are rejected. And God now is selecting a new leader. The new leader is Samuel, and little boy Samuel is called of God. This is the call of, we talk about vocation and the call of God. This is Samuel's call of God. It's really kind of a neat call. Has that kind of little kid feeling. By the way, can little kids relate to this story? It's a great story for Sunday school class and for little kids and stuff, even for adults and stuff. Now, the demise of an old leader. You've got Eli. What happens now? He knows his history and things. But before we get to the picture, I just want to say there's a map coming up here, and I want to kind of lay out the territory and things for this. First of all, do you see Shiloh here? Okay. The Philistines are going to be out here in the plain. Okay, this is the Philistine plain. This is the Mediterranean Sea. The picture's turned sideways, more in a Jewish way of thinking about it. But anyways, here's the Mediterranean Sea. The Philistines are going to be out here. The Jews are in the mountains. Here's Shiloh. Is Shiloh really well protected? This is where the tabernacle of God's going to be. By the way, what's down here? Jerusalem is off about there. Do you see this route that goes right here? This is called the Ridge Route. It goes from south to north, from down to Jerusalem to Bethlehem to Hebron on down, and stuff comes up. This is called the Ridge Route. Is Shiloh a little bit off the road? Kind of like Grapevine Road or, Gordon College. It's a little off the road main drag. And so Shiloh. Is Shiloh really well protected by the mountains? The Philistines are down here. Do the Philistines, would they have to go all the way up through the mountains to get to Shiloh? So it's very well protected. Shiloh is there. That's where the tabernacle was for a couple hundred years. It was there at Shiloh. Okay. Now what's going to happen is they're going to bring the ark out of Shiloh and they're going to bring it down this road, which still exists till this day. They're going to bring it down to Aphek, and down here in Aphek then, Aphek is where the Philistines are going to be. And they're going to do battle out here on the Philistine plains. But who's going to have the advantage when they fight on the plains? The Philistines. And so the Philistines are actually going to capture the ark of God here. And this is where Hophni and Phinehas, Eli's kids, are going to die right here at Aphek. There's going to be a battle. And so there's going to be, boom, down here. The ark is going to be lost. And then they're going to haul the ark down to the Philistine cities in it. So this is kind of the battle scenario. The Jews are safe up in the hills. They're not safe out in the territory. And so there's going to be a battle there. That's kind of the geography of it. Now, the demise of an old leader. They go back and they're going to fight the Philistines. And so the ark is going to be captured here and lost to Israel. They bring the ark out. And when I was younger, I used to think that they were wrong for bringing the ark out to fight the Philistines. And they may have been wrong and partially. But has Israel ever brought out the ark to battle before? When we were in the book of Joshua, does anybody remember a battle that they had where the ark led the way? Yeah. When they walked around Jericho, the ark led them around Jericho once a day for 7 days, 7 times in the seventh day. The ark led them into battle. So they had the precedence for doing this over in Joshua. And it turns out Saul himself will bring out the ark and take it out to battle. And so in the book of Samuel itself, they actually do this again with the ark, taking the ark into battle. The problem, I think, is this idea that you got God in a box. Did anybody ever see that Raiders of the Lost Ark? Okay? And then all of a sudden, you open the ark, and everybody's face melts down and stuff. It's kind of special effects and stuff, Indiana Jones style and things. So what's going to happen is they bring out the ark, and it's kind of like they think they've got God in this box. And therefore, God is in this box. If we bring this box out, then God will have to fight for us because God is on our side. We've got God captive in this box. God's in this box, therefore God will be on our side. And what I'm suggesting is God actually, is God captive to this box? And the answer is no. And I wonder sometimes how many of us, including myself, where we think about God as in the box, but now that God is in the box of our mind, that God is on our side. Can we always be guaranteed that God is on our side? Whose side is God on? Is God on God's side? You know what I'm saying? So we can't manipulate God, and I think we get comfortable. I guess what I'm saying is, I think we build boxes that we put God in our mind. And God, we get comfortable with God in our mind. And we think about God in a certain way, and we get comfortable about it. Which is one of the reasons why I like this class, because, everybody's used to the lovey-dovey God who's in, God is up in heaven. He loves everybody, has a wonderful plan for their life. And God just is gracious and good and kind. And then you guys read the Old Testament. And then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, God's doing, whoa, smoke those people, and boom, all this stuff, the ground opening up, and you say, holy cow, actually, is it a different God from the Old Testament to the New Testament? Or is it the same God? And then all of a sudden, whoa, maybe it's a different God. And I love this course because it allows you to see God breaks out of the box and doesn't fit into this nice little American lovey-dovey teddy bear that we've got in heaven. And all of a sudden you realize God is a real God. There's a thing called justice. There's a thing called holiness. And these things matter. And there's big things going down. And they aren't all good. God is not always on our side, so to speak. And I think it's a really dangerous thing. So breaking out God out of the box in our mind, I think we suffer from some of the same ways of thinking.